Okay guys, hi. This is Manuel, and I am getting ready to prepare for my the Appalachian Trail hike that we're going to do. We're going to go on with Troop 29 of Hampton, Virginia, Boy Scout Troop. We're going to go on a 25-mile hike on the Appalachian Trail, and I'm trying to save us some money and make sure that we can cook our food in a reasonable way, an efficient way, and a cost-effective way. So what I've done is I've created a homemade Sterno cooking stove. Okay, so let me just kind of give you a rundown of what I did, and then we'll actually make some food so that you guys will be confident that you'll be able to eat a hot, warm meal out on the trail. Okay, so what we have here is some tin cans, and what I've used is a can, like for example this one here from Hunt's, whole peeled tomatoes, and you can see that this, based on the size of my hand and the cutting board and the drill there, it's not a small can, but it's not the large can. It's kind of like the medium-sized can. So what I did is, after I cleaned it out, I made sure that everything was nice and clean around the edge and smooth. You don't want to get cut from any kind of metal filings. Okay, so I cut that out, and then in this particular case here is I've cut both ends out, and I've created a little grill on the top by using some wire hangers and a plier. And what I did, as you can see right here, is I've taken the wire hanger and I've bent it on each side so that it would at least somewhat hold itself on the can, okay, to keep it secured. And what I did is I drilled a couple holes to create like a holes across from each other so I could place the wire hanger. I've also drilled a couple more holes, hopefully you can see it, there we go, along the side, around the edges, so that it creates a ventilation, because otherwise when I was testing this out, when I turned the Sterno can on, the fuel, and then placed the cooking item on top, it suffocated the flame. So I've created more than enough holes so that the flame can breathe. Okay, and notice that the holes I made are down around the midsection to the lower section of the can, not in the upper section of the can, because I don't want my heat escaping unnecessarily from my stove here. Now, once I did drill the holes, I had to make sure that the filings, the metal pieces here, are not going to catch my finger. And what I did is I used a file. So if you have a file, that'd be great. Otherwise, you have to be really careful and make a nice clean cut with the drill. So I used the drill and the drill bit to create these holes right here. All right, you have to be real careful. You don't want to get yourself cut on any of these filings. Now, this little homemade Sterno stove is just pennies, as opposed to if I went and bought one from one of the sporting goods stores or from one of the camping stores. There is a Sterno stove, but it costs, I think, upwards of almost $20. That's truly for a Sterno can for a camping purposes, but this is only pennies, so hopefully you can make something like that. Okay, so that being said, just be real careful doing it. I notice I have a wood 2x4 here. You can see where what I would do is I would hold the can in place, put the 2x4 in, and then I would pinch down with the drill onto the metal as such, and then I would push down a little hard right there, and then I would drill the hole into the tin, the side of the tin. Okay, then making sure that it would, when the drill went through the can, it would hit the 2x4. You don't want it to hit your hand or anything. That would be pretty messy. Okay, so what I'm going to do here for demonstration purposes, we've got us a good old Sterno cooking fuel. Okay, So I'll heat it up. So let's see if this is going to work. And I'm testing this system out here here before we go camping. In about we're going to do a prep hike this weekend. As you can see, the flames are there, and they'll get hotter and hotter as the fuel heats up more and more. Okay, now so that's that part. Then I used my cook kit. Here it is, and I've already prepared the meat. I really like this particular cook kit made by it's made by Coleman. Okay, Coleman Mags comes in this nice handy mesh netting bag, and all of these pieces fold up really nicely. Alright, and this is the one I would recommend. Although this one's a little pricey. I think it's close to $18 to $24 depending on where you buy it. But here's all we're going to need to prepare our meals out on the trail. Okay, I mean as far as cooking. Okay, so we got this thing heated up, and you want to be careful not to touch any of the wires. As you can see, the flames are really going good here. Yeah, doesn't that look good? Okay, now I am making some noodles, ramen bag noodles, very inexpensive, and I'm going to place, now if I put the pot directly on top of the canister, it will suffocate the flame. So I'm just going to do a little gap here and make sure everything is nice and level so that the flame can still breathe to some degree, and just wait. Alright, now the noodles have been soaking for about 10 minutes, so I can get them soft so that it doesn't take the water too long to heat. Okay, to try to soften up the noodles. So this is what I did. Once I get this going, in this particular menu item, I'm going to add me some chicken from a can. Now what I need to do is find out if there's some chicken in a bag. Kind of like, let me show you something here. Here we go. Now this is tuna, and what I need to do is see if there's some chicken chunks in a bag, just like this tuna is in a bag. I think there are some chicken somewhere. But I'm going to use the can, and what I'd like to do is I'm just experimenting to verify that this idea is going to work. I mean, I'd rather do it this way and be able to make my little Sterno cooking stove for only pennies versus having to go spend another $20 with the official Sterno cooking stove. Okay. Alright. Very good. Well, let's see what happens in a few minutes, and let's see if all goes well, and so we can have a hot meal. Alright, and what I'll do is I'll add some of that chicken in there once the meat gets going. I mean, once the water starts boiling good enough so that it heats it up. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, well, we're about 15 minutes into the cooking here, and as you see, I'm going to add some chicken. What I really want to do is get the chicken from a pouch, not from a can, because we want to travel light, and once I finish the contents of this chicken from the can, I don't want to have to be carrying this can with me on the hike. But for right now, I'm just trying to verify and validate that this concept is going to work for us, so we can have a hot meal, at least one hot meal. And the Sterno's been pretty good. As you can see, there's a little steam coming off of the top there. So this will work. And bear in mind, when we do cook out in the open, we're going to want to tuck ourselves away from the blowing air and blowing wind, because we don't want to waste the fuel, okay, to heat up our food. And as you can see, it's simmering, and you got steam coming off the top from the food. So I can't wait to eat this lunch that I'm making, and we'll talk to you later. Okay.